All right. It should. We should be live. Let me just check. Yes. All right. Welcome. We have a little bit different something today. I am making a song for a contest. So let's freaking go. I'm gonna move here. So the idea I have is this scene from the movie Memento. And so far I took a little bit of time beforehand to chop what I want to do. This will be the breakdown. It's roughly a little bit over 30 seconds actually. And this is what I have so far. What I will do so that the YouTube gods do not mess with me, I'm gonna just pitch it down 2 semitones. And that way the automatic filters cannot get, they don't detect it as a match because it has to be like exact. So just by pitching it 1 semitone up or down, you don't get like copyright struck. Peter Collins says hello. Hello. All right. So I have this.
Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to.
Hold on, two semitones is way too much. Let's do -1.
Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to remember her.
She was beautiful.
I'm gonna turn these off for now because we have a female voice and a male voice, and they have the background noise in different places, so I will need to EQ them, but that's just BC works. I'm not gonna do that right now.
To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details, the bits and pieces you never bothered to put into word. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember her.
Perfect. Okay. So, no. I'll do that.
Remember her.
Boom. Okay. So here is, I'm gonna put a little mark at locator, drop 1. And here's where it's going to start. Like, the song is actually going to start. Here we will have the main drums. We'll have the bass come in. And this part will be the breakdown. Breakdown 1. All right, let's get drumming. I'll try to explain what the fuck I'm doing as I go. But yeah, I kind of want to finish the project. It's more of a get something done rather than it being educational. I like to start with these drum kits that are pre-designed because they make they come with some good setups that I usually like, and I'm pretty much used to them. So what I'll do is I'll set up a MIDI and then paint the bass drum, paint the pattern. But now I will swap the sample for another one, and I'm using this pack that I got, the Sounds of Blank kicks. I'm gonna need a beefy kick. The fuck, all these kicks are awful. Nope. Nope. Uh, let's see. Sample pack. Drum one shots, kicks. All of these have so much top end. I fucking hate it. Emma, hello, says, hey Max, interesting to see this other side of your work. Makes a difference to dealing with flirts. Yeah, I was kind of bored and I really want to get this song done so I can submit it to the contest. So, yep. I thought I'm gonna do this. Might as well just do it live. All of these kicks have way too much top end. I don't want that. I want a dry, like a beefy kick with no top end. Sample pack. Drums. Kick. You know what? I'm gonna go a little bit further back. It seems that the new meta on the tech house scene, that they're using kicks with a lot of... Ah, there we go. D, but that's a D. I don't want that. Mother. You know what? I'm gonna do that one. So what I'll do is I'll replace it here. Okay, there we go. Now, because I didn't get the kick that I wanted, and you can see it, oh shoot, I fucked it up. Where the hell did I, oh, here. You see how when the kick sounds, there's a lot of high end. So what I'll do is I'll just EQ that shit out. And we will get, there we go. We get the beef without the other part that I absolutely hate. And we're gonna EQ it like that. Give it a little oomph on the fundamental, which is here. And if we check, let's check that the tuning is proper. That's a G. There we go, that's the A. Okay, perfect. Okay, now, I need more. We're gonna do the basic drum, so I need this. And I'm gonna paint the pattern for the hi-hat. And that goes on the third of each time. These are divided into 16th. And we're cooking now. But let's swap the hi-hat real quick, because I've used that one so much that I need to change it. So let's go to blank. Where are you? Blank. There. Hats. Hat hits. Oh. Noisy. I think I like this one, but for the open. So I'll replace that there. Oh, yes. Sounds pristine. Okay. There we go. Let's EQ that just a little bit. Because you see, for some reason, they make the samples with, like, all of this that's here in the audio range, that is just useless. And if you leave that, then by the time you start, like, actually processing, you will get a lot of muddled sound. So we're gonna remove that, and now it sounds like way cleaner. Okay, one of the reasons why I use these pre-made drum racks is because they have a setting that when you're playing the close hat and you play the open hat, one cancels the other. And if you do it the other way, if you're playing the open hat and you play the close hat, then it closes. It basically responds to the logic that on an actual drum set, that hi-hat has a pedal, and the pedal has either it's closed, or if you press the pedal it opens, but you can't play both at the same time. It's like literally physically impossible. So what this does is it eases me off, allows me to actually draw a pattern here, and they won't clash with each other. So let's do that. Boom, boom. And now I'll just copy it. Okay, now for this one, we're going to EQ that one too. And I will also use this utility device to lower the volume, because that one is a bit loud in compared to the other. So I'm going to just drop it. I need to drop it more, but instead of going for the 12, I'll just do another one and I'll lower it 6 more. I like to do that in stages. It gives you a little bit more finer control, because this knob has a lot of resolution when up to like half the knob, and then the resolution dramatically drops because it's logarithmic. So if you do it like this, you have way more finer control. And now it just there we go. I think I'll drop let me just do closed hi-hat, and I'll label this one open hi-hat, but I'll lower the volume on this just a tad. And the reason why I work at lower volumes in general is because then you can always increase the volume by the end of the mix. But if you screw up and you mix at very high volume, then it's a pain in the ass going back to all the devices and lowering the volume of everything. So I prefer mixing at lower volumes, and then mixing. If you need to increase it, you can, and it's not that hard. So let me do a little bit housekeeping here. We'll do the kick, change the color. I like the hi-hats to be yellow. And now we're going for the clap. And now we're going for the clap. All right, clap. For the clap, the same thing. I load this drum rack. I'm gonna draw the MIDI, and the hand clap goes in the first of time 2, and in the first of time 4. All right. Of course, I'm gonna swap that sample because that's absolutely atrocious. I like that one. Clap. All right. For the clap to actually like have its impact, what we're going to do is layer it at the same time with a little bit of a snare. Snares. Let's see what we have here. Nice. Ew. There we go. That's a clappy snare. So I'll pull that one here. Snare. The clap, we can make it green. And now what I'll just do is copy the pattern to the snare that we added. If you notice, if I mute, let me do that, I'll solo it. That's the clap without the snare. And with the snare, it hits so much harder. So we'll do that, return, and we'll set the release to 110. Okay. Now, we're going to EQ both of these. And we're also going to control the volume. All right, the clap. Let me mute the snare for a second. And again, you see that there's so much information. The meat of the clap is around here. It's about 1,000 hertz. So all of the other information is, it's basically irrelevant to what we're doing right now. And there's also, like if you see it, for some reason, there's like a huge gap in the sound over there around the 16,000 hertz. And that's way too much. That is hi-hat territory. So we're gonna clean that out and lower the volume just a tad. And now we are going to mute the clap and listen to the snare. Same thing. Clean up all of the frequencies we don't need. And we're gonna put just a little biff, a little bump in the EQ to highlight these frequencies, and I'm gonna close the filter just a bit. And if you see the shape, number 3, the shape is the cue. If I do that, you get a massive spike. But if you do that, you kind of do a little hill on the frequency there. And that's about it. Unmute, unsolo, and this is going to be just the basic drums. If anyone is there in the chat, can you tell me if the audio is synced? Because I haven't done this in a while. And if you can hear me okay and everything else. I can't stream this through StreamYard because for some reason music sounds like crap when you stream it on StreamYard, it's actually pretty annoying.
Remember.
Okay, perfect. So, that's going to be the base for our song, right? So now what I'm going to do is copy that all the way here. And because this will be the breakdown, this part will be heavily filtered. So what I like to do to visually remember that that's this section, I'll change the colors to their lighter version, and that way later I can easily copy sections, because whenever I need the filtered section, I can just copy it forward. For the filters, we're going to use the auto filter function, but I'm going to load 2 of those. I'm going to select them, Control G, that will group them. And now I can set up a knob. I'm going to map this to this, and I'm going to map this to that. And then what I'll do is I'll invert the first one and swap the alignment. So now I have this filter that no, I messed it up. Fuck. It's the other way around. It's that way and that way and this way and that way. Okay. So now I have the ability to control both filters at the same time. So what I'll do is set up the starting point that I also need to do here. I'll set up this like a little bit that way and a little bit that way, and this one a little bit that way and a little bit this way. Okay. And now
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No. Don't just recite.
and you know what I'm gonna do here, we're going to drop all of these hats.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No.
Okay. Where am I? This is, oh, number hi-hats. Okay. So now that, sorry, now that I have this done, I can actually copy this rack just as it is, and I can put it here, and I can quickly filter the other channels.
She was beautiful. She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No. Don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details, the bits and pieces, you know.
Let's do a little flare there.
You can just feel the details.
Let's do that. Lower. By pressing Alt and clicking, you can lower the parameter that's called velocity. And the velocity is how long it takes from when the sample starts until it's playing at full volume. You can look at it as the attack of the sample. Let me show you one thing. So, ADSR images. So when we're talking about a sound, there are various stages of each sound. So when we start, we press the key. And the velocity, you can think of it as the attack parameter on the sound. The attack is the time it takes from when you press the key or the signal, the MIDI signal is given, that it goes up until it's playing at full volume. Then you have the decay, which is the time between the maximum volume of the sample and when you get to the sustain. Sustain would be if you think of a piano, when you press a key, if you leave it pressed, more so in digital keyboards. When you leave it pressed, the sound keeps playing, and that's the sustain. So the decay is you can, if you leave it at 0, you go from attack to sustain. But if you want to have a spike in the sound from the attack and then go down to, and the sustain be at a lower level, then you can do it like that. And then finally the release, which is the time the sample will be playing after you have released the key. You can have the sound have a tail that continues on playing after, and that way we can actually control exactly the sound.
You can just feel the details.
Let me do like that.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces.
Okay, it's a little bit low, so I'm going to turn it up. About 70.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into word. And you can feel these extreme moments.
Given that we have the remember her, I'm gonna remove that, and here is one of the remember hers from that it's stretched out. Oh, I forgot, and now I need to set up an automation so that the filters that I added turn off once the breakdown is over and we have the first drop. Boom, boom, boom.
Of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
There we go. Okay. So now that we have more or less some thoughts, I'm going to copy this over here. But what I will do is I'll give it a time, I'll give it like a little breath. So this secondary hi-hats will enter later. Okay. Now, we need a bass. We need a bass. So let's see. Some purists may say, oh, well, you're using samples. You say, well, yeah, I could spend 2 hours surgically designing each sound. But that, I mean, I can actually start from an empty synthesizer and synthesize each of these sounds, but it takes some time, so it's a lot easier to grab some sounds and then modify them in a way that makes it appealing to you. So our kick was an A, and what I'll do is I'll create a blank MIDI channel and I will label it a let's probably do minor, A minor key, just so I don't forget what key the song is in. And what I do is I set it to the color white, and that is just a quick reminder because I tend to forget what the fuck key I'm making the song in, which is a little bit dull. But yeah, it happened to me so many times that I had to stop doing that. Like, sorry, I had to actually start doing this so I don't have to go back and remember. All right. Awful. Awful. And one thing that's cool with Ableton 12 is that you can do A mine and it will filter. Disgusting. Horrible. Oh my. Shit, I think that when the cat made me drop my headphones. I'm hearing they're vibrating. I'm hearing them buzzing. Nope. No, 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 no. Yeah, the cat definitely broke my headphones. Fuck! Holy shit, these samples are awful. Now that I'm thinking, when I was evaluating the kicks, I may have been just hearing the rattling going on inside my headphones the whole time. That is just whack. But I think we are good with this one for now. Let's see. Yes. I forgot to add. This is called a glue compressor, and what it does is when you have two samples playing at the same time, in order for them to kind of get glued together, the glue compressor does some actual wonders. And now they sound a lot less like if they were two separate samples. It just makes the sound more cohesive. There we go. I wanted to hover around 5 dBs of compression, and then I make it up. When you compress the sound, what it does is it just brings the peaks down. But that usually, there's two things that happen. That usually either lowers the volume because in this kind of sample, clap and snare, those are very peak heavy. It's just a peak and then the sound kind of disappears. The tail is very short. What happens there is that you get the impression of less volume. If you compress a sound that actually has more sustain, that usually gives you more volume because of there's no difference between the peak and the sustain. So in those cases, compressing it might make a sound louder, but in this case it's just making it lower in volume. So we need to, that's why we have this knob here, the makeup, so you can make up for the amount of sound that you're losing. I'm thinking I have an idea for here. Hold on. I want this sound. So I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna copy. And now, let me try it here. I'm gonna paste it. Let's paste it double. See what that sounds like. Perfect. Love it. And we do it so we do it like at the end. So we have the original sample playing, and then we do a little flare here. And we could actually, you know what, the second one, we can come to this screen and we can pitch it up, let's say 3. Perfect. And that way, even though you're using samples, you don't just use the pure sample as it comes from the box or from the pack. You kind of make it your own. And later, we're going to add some more top end to the bass. But right now, like, that's good. So the next thing that I usually do is start with some percussions. So let's get to that. Right, we're going to go samples. I'm going to use this blank file, which it's brand new. I still haven't even listened to all of the samples that it has. No synths. What am I doing? Drums. Let's start with some tops. I love the sample, but I only like the timbal sound. So what I'll do is I'll just use that. Oh fuck, that's way too loud. There we go. It's perfect. So I'll chop that out. The interesting thing is that out of all of the sounds in this sample, all I want is that. So that's what I'll keep. I'll just delete that, delete all of the rest. And I'll do that. I'll do Control J, that will consolidate it, and I get a clip of the silences all in one, and all I need to do is just do that. But I'm not gonna play it like that. We're going to make some room for some other elements. So I'll delete a couple of these. There we go. Nope. You know what? Let's do this. There you go. We give it some breather. And we create, I'm starting to think of some, what is called a call and response. So now that I have this drum, this like timbal hit or conga hit or whatever the fuck it is, I'll leave some spaces so that when I find another sample, I can do a call and response between those. I like this, but I like this for the breakdown, so we're going to add it there, copy it, but I'll also filter it, and I'll turn the volume like way down.
You never bothered to put into word, and you can feel these extreme moments.
Oh, I forgot to lower the resonance on all of these filters. The resonance is basically a way to like make up for some of the frequencies that you're missing. But rather than add a resonance through the filter, I'd rather just use a saturator to make the frequencies a bit more palatable or a bit more beefy. Let's continue. I like this. I like this a lot. All right. Let's see where the sounds that I liked on this sample are. Let me just lower the volume. Okay, the cowbell is here, but it's colliding with that. So I'll have to swap them. I'll have to swap them. Okay. I like, I call that parupa. It's a figure that I really, really like. So what we'll do is, this one, we'll swap it around. Oh, pa para pa, love that. Pa para pa. Okay. So we're going to consolidate that one and we're going to put it here. There. There we go. Now this one, we're going to put it there. We're going to delete that. And this one, we're going to put it here. There we go. Perfect. Now, a little bit of processing, EQ. Oh my God, Calder, you're banned! You're banned! What do you mean I'm not a real DJ? Nah, I'm kidding. I know you're kidding. Ah! Sa. Okay, I need to lower that because there's a lot of... There's a lot of sounds there I don't like. No, you're not trolling. You're banned! Okay, you got it. I would like to see, you know, fucking DJ New Moon do anything like this. Fucking noob. All that dude does is trash AI music. Even for like for electronic music, which is really not that hard to make. Okay, now next up, I'd like to try on something. Let's do perk 1, number perk 2. Go back to my samples. Tom said boobs. Yo, hello.
You never bothered to put into word, and you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember.
Boom. Hat. I think the secondary hat is a little bit too high. But actually, I really don't know if it just my headphones being broken from yesterday. Fucking cat. Okay, synths. Let me try to see what we have here in A minor. Hey Max, this is a lot of fun. The cat? No, the fucking cat broke my headphones yesterday. So I don't know where he is, and I don't want to fucking see him around me. Like that. Okay, let's try it out. I'm gonna do that. Synth number synth 1. I'm just going to use one of these every each other. Yes. Now we're cooking. Let's go. Let's do that. Lower the volume just a tad. Well, he was sent to my room, but yes. Okay, let's go. Hold on. I like the synths to be pinkish. And this will be the synth for the breakdown. We're gonna do that, and remove this last part and do some magic. I already have a filter that I did when I started this shit. I'm gonna do that. Put it here.
You never bothered to put into word, and you can feel these
Perfect. And volume, audio effects. Volume, EQ.
you never bothered to put into word. She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details.
All right, and now we're going to start doing some more advanced shit. So there are here these channels that are called return channels. I am going to duplicate that one, and I'm going to duplicate that one. So for the reverb, I'm going to use a short reverb and a long reverb. This one will be the short one. This one will be the long one. And for the delay, I'm going to do the same thing. Short. Boom, boom, boom. Long. Let's go. Okay, short. So that will be 800 milliseconds. With a size of 90. Dry wet to 100. And yeah, that go. Long, I think that's fine. The one that comes by default is cool. So this one, I'm going to do 2, 2. This one, I'm going to do 4, 4. And I'm going to create an extra one, a long delay. I'm going to duplicate this one. And here, what I'll enable is the ping pong function. So when you hear the delay will be ping ponged on the pan. So you'll hear it like here, 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 here.
She was beautiful.
And now, all we need to do is...
Don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into word.
And now we're going to automate this so that it reaches our desired amount throughout the whole thing. And now we're going to curve it a little bit so that the slope is a little bit higher. And we're going to do the same for this one, about the halfway point. But this one, we're going to make it take longer to go. So
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes. and
I
remember
need
her.
to...
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into word. And you can feel these extreme moments. Even if you don't want to. Put these together.
Okay, now we have the voice and the vocals. I'm going to make them orange. We have the voice, which it still needs a lot more processing for like clarity and so on. But what I will do is I will grab another utility. I can just copy this one. I'm going to leave it at 0 gain, but I will increase the width of the sample. In case you don't know, there's a 3-dimensionality to sound, right? So I'll just explain this very quickly. When you have the panning, right? That moves the sound from one ear to the next. Usually in stereos, you can make something sound exclusively on one side or exclusively on the other. That's fine. But then the volume and or reverb determine the depth. So if you have something at full volume, it will sound like right in your face. The lower volume or the more reverb you put, it moves the thing backwards. So with that, you can actually create a semi 3D map of the sound where you can move it sideways and front and back with the reverb. In this case, the reverb is done through a return channel, so I'm not putting it directly on the sample on this channel. And what that does is that this plays as it comes out of the box with the processing that I put on the filter and so on. But it also plays the reverb in the background, and it allows for a little bit more control. So let's see how this is looking.
Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to remember her.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details, the bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments.
Let me do 1200. Saturating this, I'm starting to process the voices, and the other one is around here. That's 300. Let's do 300. I need to saturate it twice because since it's both actors have a different vocal range, I need to do the saturation twice, and I'll remove the width so that the voice remains in the middle.
Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to remember her.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details, the bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them. The word, and the word, and put into word, and you can put into word, and you can feel these extreme moments.
Okay, I can do that. And do a little pause there.
And you can bother to put into words, and you can feel these extreme moments.
Let me also do that so we can hear the S a little bit.
Bother to put into words, and you can feel these.
Emma says cat needs a container. Yes, a container with a straight jacket. Cause, oh boy, last night he got really pissy and he attacked me super hard.
Bother to put into words, and you can feel these extreme.
He attacked me so hard that I dropped my headphones and he broke them. Freaking feline.
Bother to put into words, and you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember her.
Let's do a little playing around with this shit. So I'm going to duplicate this twice, and then this one I'm going to reverse it. I'm going to play it backwards so that it's not the same sample twice, which no, needs breathing room like that and like that. No, that. not convinced of this one. Okay. That's better. More samples. More sounds. A minor. Nope. No, I'm actually not looking for synths. This is what I want. One cool thing that Ableton has is that I can play this or awful. I love that one. Boom. Processing now. Utility, EQ8. We're going to put a saturator. We are going to put the reverb on this one. I'm going to turn it off for now because I'm going to move it backwards. And the other thing that I am going to add to it is a delay. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to create a chain, and this chain. So now what I'm doing is I'm duplicating the signal. And we'll get one signal that has a reverb and one signal that has the delay in sort of a separate channel so I can process them differently. And minus 12. Johnny says that sample needs a container. Indeed. You know what? I'm going to add an original chain, and this chain we're going to call it dry. When we're talking audio, when you have a dry signal, that is the signal without processing. Like for example, here you have the dry wet. The wet signal would be the signal after processing, and the dry signal is the pre-processing. So if I have 3 chains, and I set the dry wet on the effect to 100%, then I only get the reverb out of that sound. And so the same thing with the delay. Perfect. Now, what I need to do is make the reverb a little bit shorter. Let's do 1,000 milliseconds. That's 1 second. Okay, Now that I have some room with the synths, I can continue piling on some percussions. So we're going to check here. Oh.
Remember.
I like that texture, so I'll put it here and I'll save it for later so I don't miss it. Doing the texture. Okay, perfect. This texture of people speaking, I can use it to mask some of the sounds because this scene from the movie happens in a bar, so there's a lot of people like talking in the background. So, oh no, shit. Now, you know what? I'll do it as a placeholder. And what I've done a couple of times before is you can go to YouTube and actually find because I need about 30 seconds of 30. Yes, 30 seconds. I need 30 seconds of people talking without because it repeats too much. Fuck, sorry. Let me grab one of these.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details. She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No,
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
no, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person. Enough to know how much you miss them.
So let me do that, and now what I'll do is I will put this at 300 with,
She was
so
beautiful.
you'll hear the
To me, she was
crowd
perfect.
No,
on the sides,
don't
but the
just
voice,
recite.
you hear the crowds on the sides, but the voice is still in the middle.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person. Enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember her.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No, don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person. Enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember.
Whodunit says, needs more speed, 180 BPM or bust. I do mostly, sorry, I do mostly tech house, right? And in tech house, in my humble opinion, the optimal speed is 126 because it's not that fast, it's not that slow, and it lets you dance comfortably without higher BPMs. Just I don't understand when your body, like after 128 you can barely dance to that speed. Like 130, that's you're really having a hard time keeping up with the time. And for me, dancing, I mean, this music is meant for the dance floor. So if you make music that people can't dance to, that kind of defeats the whole purpose. But I don't know, maybe that's because I'm dumb. Okay, we are looking for tops.
Remember.
I think I like this one. Kind of minimalistic. Let's see what else we can add. For house, I'd agree 100%. I grew up on UK happy hardcore jungle DMB. Though my love of EDM stretches across most genres and speeds, gabber or speedcore can be a bit much though. Yeah. Down here for the longest time, it was house, like old school house, Chicago house. And then we got a lot into tech house for a long time. But then now the whole scene in Uruguay is mostly techno, and I fucking hate techno. Okay, I like that top. So I'm going to do the same thing pretty much as this one, except I'm going to make it wider. Wider, all the way wide. Speedcore starts in the low 200 BPM range. That is just insane. 200 BPM, how can you dance to that? I mean, I guess you could dance to half the beat. That would be 100, but then that's too slow. So, yeah, I honestly don't get that. Top 1. Number top 2. Okay. We are making progress. Let's duplicate that. We are going to do a little bit of a mini breakdown here. And we are going to play that. But let me actually put on the long reverb for this one. I'll move it back one. Move it back there. And I'm going to put an automation so that we get a long reverb here. Minus 19, that's good. And I'm going to do the long ping pong for the... And that one will put at 17.
Remember.
Ah! I make myself wanna go clubbing. Makes me thirsty. Let me just clean up all this shit. Ah, fuck, no. There we go. A little flare there. A little flare there.
Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to remember her.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No. Don't just recite the words. Close your eyes. And remember.
You can just feel the details. The bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words.
Okay. I am going to start filling up this with stuff that I want to use later, but I don't necessarily know where to put now. This might go well. Actually, here.
Enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember.
Gonna boost up the transient, but we're going to have to clean this up because there's a little bit of white noise there that I didn't like too much. Okay. We're going to do a fake out here. Going to remove that. Going. Let me just do that. I'll turn all of these off. I'm going to copy that to 1, 2, 3. Okay. But I'll need to fake it out a little bit more. Oh! Yes. I think I'm missing something. You know what? Is it 3 like that? Yeah. Needs to be longer. The reason why the fake out is not having the effect that I want is because this synth actually it masks the fact that the bass and the kick go in and out. I also need to do a little bit more. I need to beef these up, which I mean I'll do later because it's a shit ton of hard work. Oh, and I forgot one thing, a very important thing. I need to sidechain this to the kick so that because the bass and the kick are pretty much in the same frequency range in the woofer sound. There you go. Because they occupy almost the same space. Okay, perfect. What the fuck is that? Ah, there you go. Fuck me. Thought I messed it up. Because they occupy the same space, what you do is when the kick plays and the bass is playing, we do a technique called sidechain, that basically tells the kick to, it lowers the volume of the bass so that the kick can shine through. And now what I need is to push the kick a little bit more. Going to do tight and punchy, and I am also going to just drop the volume just like a tad, like 6. And now we're going to come to the bass. Wow, this is super heavy. Ooh, we have Icy Spin and Real Cygnus. Icy Spin. What? DJ Suno? No, fuck you! You're banned! I am the citation. I am better than Suno. Ah, I know. Okay, this has to go. This actually has to go. Fuck. Yep.
Remember.
This has to go. I know. Okay, let me do that. And open these up. And we'll just filter, we'll just put a little filter here so that I don't lose that much sound. And here, show automation. Ooh, booty call. Okay. An hour and a half, and I already have like half a song. That's pretty good.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No.
I mean, and also, if you have half a song, you have the entire song pretty much.
Don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember.
You can just feel the details, the bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember.
Cygnus says, been wanting to learn a DAW for a while now. Been playing guitar and keys for decades, but never really recorded anything. I do really suck at drums, though. Wow. I would start with Ableton. And the good thing is that even if you suck at drums, which is entirely possible, you can get sample packs for pretty much any kind of genre of music that you want. So you don't really have to actually make the drums. You can start with some pre-made drums from sample packs in whatever genre that you like, and just throw them on there, put your headphones on, and jam to drums. And as you get better, then you develop more ideas. The reason why, for example, I'm doing samples is because it's a lot easier for me to just listen to a couple of sounds, choose, like, for example, here. this percussion. If I go here and I click show in browser, it will show me like the original sound. No, wait. I consolidated it, but hold on. Top bowl 120. So I can go, if we go to the original sample, in Sounds of Blank 5, drums, top bowl, it's this one. So what I did was I put the sample in here and I found this sound, which was the one that I liked, and I deleted the rest. And that's how I got this. Right? So samples are great and they take so much work out of choosing, or like it's a really big shortcut to creativity when you can try a lot of different stuff on the fly. Yep. A lot of purists will bash people for using samples, but I mean, it always goes into your creativity. If you just grab and post them, like if you just, it's like you're making a Lego set out of samples. But if you are creative with the way that you use them, you can get extremely great results with minimum effort. All right, I'm going to play the breakdown and this part, and we'll be on our way for today. Maybe I'll do a little bit something like this tomorrow. If you are coming here just now, I'm doing this because there's a contest that I want to submit this song to, and I've had this idea for a while now. It's one of my favorite dialogues ever, is from the movie Memento. So let me actually, you know what, before I play it, let me save this. Projects, tracks, 125. Remember her. A little bit of a love song. Leaving place.
She was beautiful.
Her again. Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to remember her.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No. Don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details, the bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember.
You know what? Let me do a quick simulation of what this will look once it's actually finished. So what I'll do is I'll throw a limiter here, put the gain at 6, and hold on to your hats. Let's freaking go.
Tell me about her again.
Why?
Because you like to remember her.
She was beautiful. To me, she was perfect.
No. Don't just recite the words. Close your eyes and remember her.
You can just feel the details,
Sick.
the bits and pieces you never bothered to put into words. And you can feel these extreme moments, even if you don't want to. Put these together and you get the feel of a person, enough to know how much you miss them.
Remember.
right. La, 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 la. So that was that. I'll try to finish it tomorrow. I'm having a really hard time because the freaking cat actually broke my headphones last night. So I'm guessing I'll have to buy new ones on Monday. You know, third world. I wish I could get them today, but that not a chance. So I'll finish it up. I'll continue tomorrow with this, and hopefully I get to finish this before the contest window ends, which is, when is that? Give me 1 second. Let me check. Okay, I have about a week left, or 5 days actually. That's a lot. I can finish this before then. All right. Thank you all for who dropped by. Love you. Bye.